This video is just going to talk about how we can enter some of this data into the graphing calculator, the TI-84. I'm going to model the TI-84 Plus here. So if you have that, this will be helpful. If you don't, you may be able to do this using YouTube and just find your calculator and just do a YouTube search on how to enter data into your calculator if it's a TI-83 or something different. So on our calculator, notice how you have the on button, and if you hit the second button and hit the on button, it'll turn it off. I'm not gonna do that here. But the second key will do anything that's in blue. So if you want to quit, you can hit the second and hit mode and it'll quit. Notice how mine actually stays highlighted. Yours won't do that. You may have something on your screen that says you're on this, you have hit the second. So anyway, entering data, there's a stat button here in the middle of the screen. So if I click that stat button, it takes me to an area where I have these different little tool menus across the top: edit, calculate, and test. I want to stay under, if I hit calculate, it'll take me, oops, I got to use my arrows here. If I use the arrows, it'll take me to calculate and test and things like that. Right now, I'm going to stay under edit. So notice I have these choices: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to, sorry about that. I'm going to just choose number 1, and it'll take me to edit. Notice I have some data in here. So if I use my up arrow, notice how it goes to this L1. If I hit clear and then come back down to below that, notice how the data is now gone. So if I want to enter data, I can now do that through using the calculator. So notice I have these winning Super Bowl scores over here. So 35, so I'm going to put those into the calculator. So 35, 33. Notice I type it in and hit enter and it goes in. 16, hit enter. 23, hit enter. I'm going to pause my video for a second and I'm going to enter all that data in. So I've got a few more pieces of data to put in. So I'm on this 28 over here. So I'm about here in my data. So this 28. So I'm going to put that 28 in. Notice if I actually hit 29, what I can do is I can try the delete button up here. It doesn't do anything, but if I hit the back arrow, it'll take me back and I can type over that, hit a 28, hit enter. I can type a 24 in, hit enter. I can type a 34 and hit enter. So if I go back up one, notice how I got this L51. This 51 represents the last piece of data, which is the 34. Notice how, since that's highlighted, I could actually type over that. If I wanted to type a 35, hit enter, it'll replace it. So another way to fix something is you just go back into that spot and just type over it. I need a 34 there, so hit enter. So this little directional pad can come in very handy as well. And the delete button sometimes works depending where you are in the calculator. So what I can do now, if I want to, is if I can actually put this data in some type of order. Numerical order from smallest to largest is also very helpful. So if I go back to stat, under edit, notice how it says sort A. So A stands for ascending, which means smallest to largest. Sort D means descending from largest to smaller. So if I choose number 2, what it's asking for is what lists we want. So what I'm looking for is my list. If we notice, it was L1. So I have to find this L1 in here. It looks like L1 is this little blue L1 right above the 1. Since it's in blue, I have to use the second button. Hit the 1, it'll do actually the L1. And then if I close that parenthesis off, if I hit enter, it's done. What that means is you can now go back to where the data is. So if it's stat, under edit, the data should be in order from smallest to largest. So 14 would be the lowest score, the minimum score. And the largest score would have been, I got to go on down there a little ways. It would be 55. So that would be the minimum and the max. So notice that's in order. This could help you actually count the frequency. So it takes some time, but you notice how the 14 repeats just one time. The 16 repeats 3 times. The 17 repeats 1 time. Its frequency would be 1. The 20 would be 3 times. The 21, this is where it gets tricky as you go off the screen a little bit. So you may want to move up a little bit. So the 21s, there's 3 of those. The 23s, there's 2 of those. The 24, there's 4 of those. So you can actually do frequencies that way as well. So you can use the stat button, put them in some type of order, and you can then count frequency pretty easy. So I'm going to stop there. Hopefully you find that helpful. If this is how you can enter data into your TI-84 calculator.